Great action movies can easily become overlooked or underrated if the critics find them controversial, if their advertising campaigns fail, or if they're too niche to do well with the mainstream audience. By popular demand, I will present to you 10 movies that I think deserve more attention. Here are my top 10 favorite underrated action movies. Number 10 is Showdown in Little Tokyo. In my opinion, this is Dolph Lundgren's magnum opus, and I think it deserves the same cult status as Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando.
Kenner, just in case we get killed, I wanted to tell you, you have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
Thanks.
The movie feels very 80s in the best possible way, and I think the main reason the movie has been rated as rotten on Rotten Tomatoes that it was released a few years after Die Hard, a movie that redefined the action genre.
How American. The backseat. The movies, a beautiful girl.
We follow an American who lives by the honor of the samurai, and a Japanese who lives by the rules of the LA streets.
You know, this is kind of reverse racism when you think about it.
They team up to bring down the Yakuza, and we follow them into the fascinating Japanese underworld, where sushi is eaten off naked ladies, and where the favorite hangout of the mafia is the local bathhouses. If you want to be entertained, Showdown in Little Tokyo is a safe bet.
$5 grand on the new guy!
It's a good bet.
Number 9 is Deep Rising. This box office failure can best be described as a mixture of Aliens and Titanic. A freelance skipper of a power cruiser and his crew have been hired to take a group of shady characters out in the middle of the ocean for shady business. But as they say,
if the cash is there, we do not care.
It turns out that a group of badasses are guns for hire who have been paid to take down a huge cruise ship on its maiden voyage. But unfortunately for them, a sea monster has beaten them to the race. It is badasses versus a monster, Predator style. What makes this movie so damn fun is the chemistry between the many macho characters, and of course the many one-liners.
What are you looking at?
Also, the movie has a fantastic ending. Number 8 is Rising Sun.
Passport on Mr. Sugar's side.
This cultural action thriller has a similar plot to Showdown in Little Tokyo.
You get going, I'll phone. He lives down by Little Tokyo, 428 Rose Street.
Yes, sir.
It even has the same villain. When a prostitute is murdered inside a Japanese corporation located in Los Angeles, Detective Snipes and Japan expert Connery are put on the case. Sean Connery hasn't been this Japanese since his role in You Only Live Twice. The movie is about the clash between two cultures, and it is an exciting look into the corporate world of Japan, where honor stands above anything else.
He has been too long in America. He has adopted many bad habits.
As we're dealing with Japan, we of course also get presented to high-tech gadgets and some of the more shady aspects of the Japanese sex culture. I didn't run into this movie until about a half a year ago, but I really enjoyed it.
You're late?
Yeah, sorry. The directions were...
No. Be on time.
Number 7 is Turbo Kid. This ultra-violent throwback to the 80s post-apocalyptic movies never got the wide release it deserved. In the year 1997, everyone lives in the wastelands, where water has become a scarce resource, which is controlled by the megalomantic and brutal Zeus, who likes to arrange gory gladiator fights. The only one who can stop him is the Turbo Kid, a comic book loving teenager with a very special glove, and his always happy friend Apple. The movie has a fantastic soundtrack, hilariously bloody fight scenes, and I guarantee that it will make your jaw drop. Number 6 is No Escape. This movie got smashed by the critics for being racist. I'm not sure I think it's any more racist than any other action movie with foreigners as villains. The movie is about an expat family that gets caught in the middle of a military coup in an unnamed Asian country next to Vietnam. When the family arrives at the hotel, everything seems nice and quiet, except that the TV, the phone lines and the internet is down. The next morning, while the dad is out to pick up a newspaper, all hell breaks loose, and foreigners start getting picked off one by one in the middle of the streets. The movie is brutal, suspenseful and tense, as we follow the family's attempt to escape the country. The movie also gets major plus points for Pierce Brosnan's performance as an operative for Her Majesty's Secret Service.
I've got 1, 3 and 5, you've got 2 and 6!
As one of the reviewers on IMDb says, this movie is tenser than a tuk-tuk ride at rush hour in Thailand. And that's pretty tense. Number 5 is The Guest. The movie is super stylish and super violent. It kind of reminds me of From Dusk Till Dawn in the sense that the first half of the movie is a thriller and the second half is an action movie. At the Petersons family, the wonderful David shows up out of the blue and tells them that he knew their son who died in the war. He helps out the younger son of the family by beating up the bullies. He parties with the daughter. He gets along with the local weapons dealer. What could go wrong? Well, watch the movie to find out, and also get a hold on the excellent soundtrack. Number 4 is Death Wish 2. The crime rates are up in Los Angeles, but the police is doing nothing. Luckily, the architect, Paul Kersey, does more than design houses. He also cleans up the crime-ridden streets of LA. Death Wish 2 is a sleazy, brutal movie about vigilance. And it was hated by the critics when it came out. But it is just so damn satisfying to see Kersey take his revenge on the killers of his family.
You know what we got here, don't you? A goddamn vigilante.
The movie is best enjoyed in a completely dark room, as this brings the gritty atmosphere and the flashy neon signs of the LA streets to life. Though the movie is quite old, you should still give it a shot. Number 3 is The Running Man. This is my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie right after The Terminator and Predator. The year is 2017, the economy has collapsed, censorship has become ubiquitous, and spandex has become the newest trend. Ben Richards has been framed for a crime he didn't commit.
Eliminate anything moving.
I said the crowd is unarmed. There are lots of women and children down there. All they want is food, for God's sake.
And he is thrown on a TV show called The Running Man, where gladiators hunt down and kill criminals on live TV.
Here is Sub-Zero! Now, Plane Zero!
If you survive, your criminal record will be deleted and you will be sent to a paradise island.
You remember them? Whitman, Price, and Haddad. There they are, and at this very moment, they're basking under the Maui sun. They're dead to society, paid in full.
It doesn't sound half bad.
That's all right. Keep it down.
The movie has a great futuristic atmosphere. It is filled with great one-liners, and it is fun how well it predicted today's problems with fake news and tools like deep fakes. With The Running Man, you are in for quite a ride. Number 2 is The Chronicles of Riddick. This is the sequel to the cult classic Pitch Black, and it got trashed by the critics. I, however, really like the movie.
One of my best.
If you say so.
There are not many other movies like this one out there. It is a gritty intergalactic action-adventure movie, and the only other movies I can think of that are somewhat similar are Doom and Guardians of the Galaxy. In this movie, the badass Riddick is up against the brutal religious empire of the Necromongers, who plan to convert or kill all humans in the universe. Now that is evil. On Riddick's way to take down the Empire, he stops by an ice planet, he runs into mercenaries, and stops by a maximum security prison. The movie is good, but what makes it great is Vin Diesel. It is great to know that badasses can also enjoy drinking tea.
I'll kill you with my teacup.
Before we get to the first place, I have a few honorable mentions. We have Die Hard 2, which by far is my favorite of the Die Hard sequels, as it keeps the feel of the original. We have Lockout, which is a modern take on Escape from New York. The movie feels fresh because no one makes action movies like this anymore. We have Off Limits, which is a gritty and atmospheric movie taking place in Saigon during the Vietnam War, where we follow two soldiers who have to find out who is killing the local prostitutes. We have the overlooked Wind River, which was one of my favorite movies of 2017. It starts out a bit slow, but the payoffs are totally worth it. Now let's get to the number one spot, and that is Rambo. This is the fourth installment in the Rambo series, and many write it off as being just another mindless action movie. But despite the excessive violence of the movie, I think it is the most grounded of the sequels. John Rambo has settled down in Thailand, where he makes a living catching snakes that are used to entertain the tourists. Rambo has become disillusioned after all the years of wars that have changed nothing, and I can relate to that.
Old men start it, young men fight it, nobody wins, everybody in the middle dies.
He however decides to aid a group of self-righteous and naive Christian missionaries in getting into Burma to deliver medicine and guard to the people. Unfortunately for them, they get captured by the brutal Burmese army. When the church finds out, they hire a group of mercenaries to bring them back.
So they send in the devil to do God's work. It's ironic, isn't it?
And Rambo decides to join them in saving the missionaries, because as Rambo puts it,
live for nothing, or die for something.
The movie is atmospheric, beautifully filmed, and it has tons and tons of heavy rain, which I really love. It is a highly underrated movie. That's all for this video, thank you for watching, and I will catch you later.